Static first. A flicker. Then the cursor moves on its own. Do not follow the red mark the screen types, no hands touching the keys. Eli leans closer, the glow pale on his face. He should log off, but he zooms in instead. The map breathes once. A dot pulses deep in the Appalachians. Unlisted, unnamed. He clicks. The map freezes, then loads something older, grainier, like film burned at the edges. Houses. A church without a cross. A single road looping on itself. He copies the coordinates. The laptop hums louder, like it's struggling to breathe. Who marked this place? What's missing between the pixels? He hears tapping, not keyboard, but glass. His monitor fogs from the inside. The cursor draws a new line on its own, writing, "Arrive alone." And then, power cuts. In the dark, the coordinates glow faintly on the screen. He whispers, "No one airses a town by accident." Behind him, a reflection blinks that shouldn't. Eli drives through endless fog. The GPS reads, "Searching." His phone screen glows white. No map, no service. The world feels erased. He passes trees that all look the same. Tall, bare, leaning inward like listeners. Every few miles, static breaks through the radio. Then, a voice. Female. Turn left. Left? He grips the wheel tighter. The voice cuts out, replaced by the same hiss from his apartment. He checks the printed coordinates. The ink bleeds, running down the page like tears. What if the map doesn't lead anywhere real? He slows as a wooden sign appears through fog. Letters eaten by time. When he steps out to read it, the air feels charged. Behind him, the car engine stutters, lights dim. Something knocks once from the trunk. The fog parts like a curtain, and suddenly the town is there. No sound of arrival, no slope. It just exists. Streetlights glow weakly. Houses sag inward. No wind, yet flags twitch. Eli parks at the edge and steps out. The silence presses like a weight. He passes mailboxes with no names, storefronts without glass. Every step echoes slightly before it lands. Then, faint ringing. Inside the post office, a rotary phone glowing faintly on a desk of dust. He answers, "Hello?" Static? Then a woman's voice. "You shouldn't have clicked it." He drops the receiver. The ringing doesn't stop. The post office hums faintly with static. A single fluorescent bulb sputters overhead. Eli lifts the receiver again. It sticks to his hand, buzzing softly. He turns. Behind the counter, a wall map with his name written in the corner. Every street marked, every lane labeled. But in the center, one word. You. He traces the ink with trembling fingers. The lights die. Something drags behind him. Slow, wet. When the bulb flickers again, the map is gone. And the ringing now comes from every building outside. Why? Eli steps back into the street. Every house is awake now. Through open doors, televisions hum faintly. He peers inside one. The screen shows his own apartment, his own reflection from hours earlier. Each house plays a different angle, some from corners, others from above. He stumbles backward, breath catching. If the town watches him, who filmed the footage, windows across the street shimmer with faint reflections, his body turning, his head tilting, but not matching his movements. From far down the road, the same female voice. "They mapped us out of mercy." He looks to his phone. The coordinates have vanished, replaced with one word. Flashing red. Dawn comes without sunlight. The fog glows pale like bone dust. Eli walks the main road, his breath sharp and visible. Houses stand crooked, roofs sagging. Yet everything feels freshly abandoned. Plates still on tables, lights humming faintly. He hears whispers between frequencies, overlapping, like layers of old recordings. They say his name. He finds a town sign half buried in moss. Welcome to Brant Hollow. The letters flicker faintly, though there's no power. A soft tune drifts from a nearby diner, a record playing, looping the same 4 seconds. Inside, chairs overturned, coffee cups still steaming though cold to touch. On the counter sits a Polaroid camera. He lifts it. A photo slides out on its own. It's him, standing where he is now, but behind him, the door's open and someone else is watching. He turns. The door is shut, no one there. Yet in the Polaroid, the figure remains. A woman in a long coat, head slightly tilted. He steps outside. The records echo, following him into the street. Across from the diner, a church tower leans into the fog. Bells hang motionless but hum faintly, vibrating without wind. Eli walks closer. On the church door, scratched into wood, one phrase repeats over and over. We erased ourselves. Inside, pews stand orderly, untouched by decay. Dust dances through beams of silver light. In the front row lies another photograph. Same woman. On the back, in shaky writing, nor avail, his throat tightens. She was never supposed to be real. Inside the church, the silence breathes. He sets the Polaroid beside the altar. It begins to fade, colors draining like blood into paper. He looks up. Stained glass windows shimmer with faint moving images. Not saints, but footage. Himself entering the town, the diner, the post office. It's like the church is replaying his memory back to him. Then the images distort, showing places he hasn't gone yet. A tunnel, a lake, something burning underwater. He steps backward, nearly tripping over a pew. Whispers bloom all around. Hundreds of voices murmuring his name through static. Eli Mercer. You drew us back. He covers his ears. But the sound comes from inside his skull. The floor creaks. Something walks above. Slow, deliberate, heavy. The sound stops. The silence cuts like a blade. Then a soft whisper from behind the altar. You're late. Eli freezes. A figure steps forward. Nora Vale, 29, female. Auburn hair tangled. Eyes gray-green, coat torn at the hem. Her skin flickers faintly, like she's half made of static. You shouldn't have followed the map, she says softly. It's not a place. It's a memory the world rejected. He asks, why me? Because you believed in coordinates, she whispers. She hands him a torn notebook page. It's the same map he found online. But this one has no red mark. Instead, a circle labeled Center of Forgetting. Before he can ask, she's gone. The door slams shut, sealing him inside. Eli breaks the lock with a wooden beam, stumbles into the cold fog again. The streets twist now. Alleys where roads were. Houses doubled. Impossible geometry. The town shifts when he looks away. He checks his phone. Blank white. No time, no date, no signal. A low hum rises from beneath the earth. The ground trembles like a breathing creature. He runs toward the sound. Past the diner, past the post office, to the town square. There, a pit yawns open where the fountain once stood. Inside, layers of static shimmer like water. Whispers spill out. Center of Forgetting. He looks down and sees hundreds of faces rippling beneath the surface, including his own. The fog thickens. Something begins to pull him toward the pit. The pit hums like a living thing. Eli kneels, dizzy from the vibration beneath his feet. The fog pulses in rhythm with the sound, like the whole town is breathing through static. He reaches toward the glowing surface, and it ripples at his touch, mirroring his hand perfectly, then lagging behind by a second. The image glitches. His reflection's eyes move before his own. He stumbles back, Panting, the static voice returns. Nora's tone fractured and layered. They buried memory here. Every person, every sound. He shouts, "What is this?" Her voice replies from every direction. A recording that learned how to remember. The pit flashes white. He shields his eyes. When he looks again, the town is gone. Only outlines remain. House shapes drawn in fog. Eli walks through where the streets should be. Each step echoes like it's inside a hollow body. The fog feels thicker, heavier, metallic in taste. He sees figures forming in it. Outlines of people. Transparent and twitching like corrupted video frames. They whisper names. Old names. He realizes they're data ghosts. Fragments of the Arist. One steps forward. A child with blank eyes. Her voice a modem scream. Eli stumbles back, hands to ears. The fog shakes, bending toward him. From its heart, the archivist emerges. Tall, thin, skin translucent like film, eyes black voids. "Did you think the map found you by accident?" he asks. Eli can't answer. "You're not mapping us," the voice hisses. "You're completing us." The archivist circles Eli, his steps soundless. "Each map you've made, each coordinate." "A wound reopened," he says. Eli backs away. "I just wanted truth. Truth." The archivist murmurs, smiling, is a glitch pretending to be order. The fog shivers. The town flickers back into view. Diner, church, houses, looping the same moment over and over. Every window shows Eli walking the same path, infinitely replaying himself. He screams, tearing at the air, trying to break the illusion. The archivist's hand reaches out, fingers static white, touching Eli's temple. Instantly, memories flood. Not his. Other lives. Other deaths. He falls to his knees as the town watches in silence. The reflection in the pit now looks exactly like him. When he wakes, the sky is red, and everything is still. Nora stands across from him, half transparent, half human. "You've seen it," she says softly. "Now it will see through you." She touches his face, her hand cold, static lines flickering under her skin. He asks, "Can I leave?" She shakes her head. "No one leaves. You'll fade from their databases, their memories, their photographs. That's the trade." He steps back, heart pounding. She adds, "Every map maker becomes the map. Her form disintegrates into thin strands of light, dispersing into the fog." Eli stands alone, surrounded by echoes of himself. Hundreds, all fading in and out. He walks to the pit one last time. The glow is dim now, pulsing like a dying heartbeat. His reflection rises to meet him, identical but smiling faintly. Eli kneels, whispering, "If no one remembers this place, do I still exist?" The reflection mouths the answer a second too late. "No." He leans forward. The surface bends, swallowing his image first, then his voice. The fog collapses inward, sound folding like film, melting in a projector. The screen goes black. Only the coordinates remain, glowing red in the dark. Then a whisper. New entry added. A second later, his apartment reappears, empty. Except the cursor typing, "Welcome, Eli Mercer." Silence stretches across what was once the town. The fog has thinned, leaving outlines, streets drawn in light. Eli stands where the pit used to be, clutching the small recorder from his bag. It's the only thing still working. When he presses play, he hears himself breathing, then another voice layered underneath. Log, entry 4. Subject still responding. He doesn't remember saying it. Each playback blurs his voice more. The second voice becoming clearer, guiding him toward the mountain ridge beyond the square. He realizes it's coming from a signal, not from the recorder. Something is broadcasting nearby. Eli follows the signal toward the ridge. The closer he gets, the more the static softens into a heartbeat-like rhythm. Old telephone wires run beside a dirt path, disappearing into fog. Some of them hum faintly, carrying faint murmurs of conversation, his own words from hours ago. At the ridge's peak stands a relay tower, still blinking a single red light. He shades his eyes. The light seems to pulse in tempo with his heartbeat. For the first time since arriving, there's wind. It carries the smell of wet metal. Inside the small control shed, everything is coated in dust. Screens flicker with half-legible text. A single monitor glows steady white. On it, a login prompt asking for cartographer ID. Eli types his name. The monitor replies instantly. Access reinstated. He scrolls through lists of coordinates. Most are empty, erased, but one entry remains. E. Mercer. Active. The coordinates match his current location. He exhales slowly, realizing the town was never deleted. It was quarantined. And now the system recognizes him as its new caretaker. The signal stabilizes. Voices align into one clear transmission. Eli Mercer confirmed. Containment restored. He stares at the screen as new coordinates generate one by one. Remote valleys, dry lakes, other places long erased. Each coordinate blinks pending mapping. He hesitates, hand over the enter key. The system speaks again in his own voice, if no one remembers them. Someone must. Outside, the fog rolls in again, gentle and endless. He steps out of the shed, standing before the silent valley. The tower hums behind him, steady and alive. He records one final entry. Map complete. Location secured. I remain. Then he turns off the device and places it on a nearby rock. The wind carries his words downhill, scattering them across the landscape. As he walks away, the red beacon flashes once, then fades into morning. Somewhere far away, on an anonymous computer, a new dot appears on an unmarked map. Weeks pass. The mountain tower still hums, transmitting a low signal into the sky. Far below, cities buzz with quiet confusion, maps refreshing, satellite feeds blinking, new terrain coordinates slipping into databases overnight. Eli lives near the ridge now, sleeping inside the control shed. He keeps journals filled with sketches of shifting grids and half-decoded messages. Every morning, new symbols appear on the monitors, spelling fragments of names he doesn't recognize. He begins to suspect the signal isn't from him. It's answering something else. When the relay's tone changes pitch, he realizes is not broadcasting out, it's calling back. In a data center hundreds of miles away, analysts notice strange echoes in archived map logs. Coordinates restoring themselves. Entire erased towns reappearing. A technician named Marion traces the source to the Appalachian Tower. She runs diagnostics. Signal origin authenticated. Operator ID'd. E. Mercer. The room falls silent. Eli Mercer was declared missing months ago. Marine hesitates, then opens a live feed. Static fills her screen, then resolves into the soft sound of wind and Eli's voice saying, "Update complete," she whispers. How is he online without a transmitter? Eli reviews the logs that appeared overnight. One line catches his eye. Return route. Active. Outside. The fog has vanished. The valley is clear for the first time, revealing miles of quiet green forest. He follows a newly drawn path on his tablet, each step synchronizing with a quiet chime from the tower. Halfway down, he notices his reflection in the tablet glass blinking a fraction late again. He pauses, then smiles faintly. Guess we're both still here. For the first time, he feels less afraid of the echo. Marin sends a coded message through the relay. Identify. The reply arrives instantly. Cartographer E. Mercer. Status? Maintaining continuity. She hesitates, then types, "What continuity?" The next response scrolls across her monitor word by word. Everything forgotten leaves coordinates. Someone must hold them. Her colleagues exchange uneasy glances. Marin closes her laptop softly. "He's not lost," she murmurs. "He's archiving." At sunset, Eli stands by the tower one last time. The wind moves gently across the ridge. He records a final entry. Brant Hollow recovered. Memory stabilized. Connection open. He looks toward the horizon where a new red light blinks far away. Another tower awakening. He smiles faintly. Looks like someone found the next one. The camera pulls back. Small figure, endless landscape, thin line of red light stretching toward the clouds. The map, at last, is drawing itself. In data labs across continents, the network grows. Anonymous servers begin syncing again after years of flying. Forgotten archives blink awake. Marin watches as the new coordinates multiply. Hundreds of them, appearing in rhythmic pulses like breathing. Each one links to places thought lost. Dried rivers, decommissioned stations, entire towns erased from the census. She zooms in on one point marked Brant Hollow complete. Another below it reads, "Origin pending," she whispers. "It's rewriting the world's memory." Eli's voice carries through the relay like a calm broadcast. "The pattern is widening. Do you see it?" Marin transmits back. "Yes, but what is it doing?" His answer arrives minutes later. Balancing satellite imagery confirms it. The restored coordinates form a spiral pattern spreading through mountain ranges and coastlines, aligning perfectly with old magnetic maps. It's as if memory itself has a geometry. On the ridge, Eli tracks the pulse intervals. They now match the heartbeat he once heard beneath the pit. He sits with his notebook, sketching the waves by hand. Between each crest he sees tiny gaps, pauses that form a code. Translating it line by line, he realizes it's a map folded inside time itself, past, present, and near-future coordinates repeating. He smiles slightly. "The network's not expanding," he murmurs. "It's remembering forward." Marion receives a final encrypted package from Eli's channel. An open-source file labeled Continuity Map. She hesitates, then runs it. The office lights dim as digital grids ripple across every screen. For a moment, maps of oceans, cities, and mountains overlap perfectly, revealing unseen paths that connect them all. Her colleagues stare in silence. Marin says quietly, "He turned absence into infrastructure." Days later, a new message appears on global mapping networks. "Cartographer Network Online, Collective Modi." No one knows who uploaded it. Marin looks up at the skyline from her apartment balcony. The stars above pulse in the same rhythm as the relay lights. Somewhere beyond the ridge, Eli listens to the same rhythm carried by the wind. Their voices overlap across distance, saying the same line. Every place remembered becomes possible again. Months pass. The signal that began on one mountain now circles the globe. Governments, scientists, and everyday users all see the same quiet correction taking place on their maps. Rivers drawn where dry valleys once were. Lost islands returning to coastlines. Forgotten neighborhoods restored to city grids. Eli's name appears nowhere. His coordinates remain blank. Yet everyone working in cartography receives an update stamped simply, "Atlas 1 complete." Marin watches the upload finish and realizes the world has just remembered itself. From orbit, satellites record faint glows tracing through mountain ranges and oceans. Thin, luminous threads connecting every recovered coordinate. Data analysts call them memory lines. Marin calls them bridges. She sends a message into the network. "To whoever built this, thank you for returning what we lost." Somewhere in the static, a reply blinks across the console. "Not lost. Just waiting." The cursor blinks once, then stills. High on the Appalachian Ridge, the relay tower now stands silent. Its red light replaced by a gentle white pulse. Eli keeps a small tent nearby. He spends his days charting stars by hand, noting how constellations align with the recovered coordinates. Each night, he uploads his sketches to an open folder named the New Atlas. No passwords, no restrictions. He speaks softly into a recorder. Every map ends up mapping the one who made it. Maybe that's enough. In classrooms, students learn geography from the revised datasets. In archives, missing towns appear in public records again. People travel to coordinates that didn't exist the year before and find real soil under their feet. When asked where the new data came from, agencies answer simply recovered source. Human memory and digital record finally agree, as if the Earth itself had signed its own map. At dusk, Marin hikes the same ridge where it all began. She finds the tower quiet but alive, cables humming softly in the breeze. Near its base, a small metal tag catches her eye, etched with simple words. Cartographer E. Mercer, present. She smiles, sets her hand on the cool metal and whispers, "Map safe." The camera rises slowly above the ridge, revealing thousands of faint lights across distant peaks, each one a memory restored. The world glows like a constellation finally made whole.